Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to start off by saying that this video is admin approved. It is Saturday, January 12th, approximately 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching this video after that, it is no longer live. You can feel free to leave any questions you may have in the comment section. And as always, ask me questions as I'm going along. So today I want to show you guys how to use the EasyPress to make a onesie. I see so many people lately getting confused by their onesies and why it's not getting a good press. So I have the 6x7 EasyPress, and my friend was generous enough to lend me her 12x10 so that I can show you guys how to do it if you have a bigger press. So I'm going to start today. I'm going to probably use some designs from Cricut Access. They have some really cute Valentine's Day ones, and I have quite a few babies that have been born in my life to family and friends this past year, so these are going to be great. So what I'm going to do, I already picked some designs, but I'm going to show you guys how to find them to make it a little easier. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, you can find my mouse easily this way. So I'm going to go over to images over here on the left side of our layers panel. And I'm going to start by picking categories. I like this because it will filter it by holiday for me. I can go down and I can choose Valentine's Day. So it is really great that you can find these and they're already ready to go by holiday for you. So you can see a lot of different ones here. Most of them are part of Cricut Access. You can see the A here. But there are tons of cute ones. I went through about 20 minutes earlier looking at all the designs, so there are several. So I'm going to go over to my tab where I already picked out some of the designs. I'm going to decide what I want to do. I have a little boy one and a little girl one, so I picked out a few of them. I had grouped these all together, so I'm going to ungroup them, and I think that I'm going to choose this little Mr. Valentine for the boy one, and I'm going to do the Miss Melt Your Heart for the girl one. Now I'm going to be using Cricut foil iron-on, and I have some patterned iron-on, so I'm excited to show you guys that. Now the first thing that I want to do is make this easy for myself. I'm going to measure my onesie to decide what size I want my design. Now the biggest thing that I always do is I cut all these out of cardstock, different sizes, and I use those on every single item to decide what size I want to do it. So I just lay it on here and I say, oh, 6x5, that's a good size, and I'm going to put a square in here to use that as my guide. You can find my template for these in unit 11 of this group, and if you check out the units, there is a giveaway this month for the Cricut Maker, so you can sign up for that. You'll have to complete all of the units and share an aha moment. Once this video is posted after the live, I'll include the link to that video for you guys too. So I'm going to do a 6x5 for this bigger onesie here, and I'm going to go ahead over here. I'm going to add a shape, square, and I'm going to make it 6x5. Go up here to our control panel, and I'm just going to make it easy on myself by doing 6x5 this way. I'm going to set it up over my design, and I'm going to arrange and send to back. And then for this one, I have a onesie that's a little bit smaller, so I'm going to start with the 6x5, and that's a little bit big, so I'm going to do probably 5.5 inches wide by 5 inches tall. So I'll just make it easy on myself. I'll select this original square. I'm going to go over here to the top of my layers panel and duplicate it, and I'll go over here and I'll adjust that size, and I'll move it to the back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just, while this design is still grouped, I'm going to adjust it as a whole to make it easier for me to do this. All right. Now I can go ahead over my layers panel and hide my squares. I don't need them anymore since I have mine adjusted. So I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to ungroup it, and I know that I want to do pink and purple foil. Now I'm going to go over to here in my layers panel. I'm going to select it, and now we're going to go up here and we are going to change the color. So I'm just going to make it pink. And then I'm going to go over to this one, and I'm going to come back to the color change and make it purple. And then that's my design. Now, you can see the way that this pink one is set up here. I don't want to have to waste all of my HTV by keeping it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to duplicate, and I'm going to go down to the bottom right corner of our layers panel and contour. I'm going to contour out the pieces that I don't want. Now this is for cut lines only if you've never used contour before, but this is going to make it so that, and I'm going to go back to this one here, and I'm going to make it so that I can remove all the ones that I don't want. And that's going to make it easier for me to not waste my HTV. This will keep it all in the way. I guess my video is sideways. I did not know that. I don't know if I can change that now. I think that it's set. I'm gonna see if I can rotate you guys. I'm not sure if this fixed it, but hopefully it did. If not, I guess it's gonna stay sideways. So I'm gonna move these back here, and I'm gonna go over to this design. I like to do all of my designs at once, and that way I can cut everything all together if possible. Now what I wanna do for this one is I'm going to ungroup it. And for the red here, I have some really cute buffalo plaid. So I'm going to hide this black layer over my layers panel by clicking the little eye. And then with the red selected, I'm going to zoom in for you guys a little bit to make it easier for you to see. I am going to go up to this fill where it says no fill, and I'm going to change it to print. And then it's going to change the color over here. And instead of changing the color, I can choose pattern. So I'm going to do that. And earlier I went in, I Googled Cricut. I have the lumberjack sampler, which includes the buffalo plaid. So I Googled the picture of it and I uploaded it as a pattern. So I can select that, and I can go to edit pattern, and it's going to show me my thing. And I'm going to make it a little bigger here so I can see a little closer what it's really going to look like, which is really, really cool, because sometimes when you use a pattern and you're using text, it is harder to tell how it's going to look once you do it. So then I can see that it looks good and I like that, so I'm just going to go right over here to the cut type, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to go back to the fill, and I'm going to do no fill, and it's going to set it back to a cut for me in my original color. And I'm going to leave it red because the buffalo plaid, it's going to let me know. Alrighty, and then I'm going to unhide this black piece here. And for the black piece, I believe I have a patterned HTV too, but since I already showed you guys that, I don't really need to go over it again. So now I'm ready to make it. So I'm going to go right over here and click make it. We are going to make sure we iron it on. What I like to do first is go down, and I start at the bottom, and I select iron on and mirror all of this. Now, when using patterned iron on, Cricut, the lumberjack sampler that I have, it comes with your carrier sheet here. So it might be a little harder for you to tell, but you can see you have this kind of yellowy color side, and then you have this shiny side. The shiny side is your carrier sheet. From my understanding, not all brands come with a carrier sheet attached, so you might have different instructions. So please be careful when using pattern iron-on. Read the instructions from wherever you purchased it from to make sure that you're using it correctly. Now, if I'm using a new sheet like this, I'll usually put it down and cut it down after I cut to make sure there's no waste. But you can cut it down beforehand, it's up to you. But I like to stack my iron on in the order I'm going to cut it. I think that just makes it a little bit easier for me to stay organized. So I'm going to go up, and I'm going to do this for all of mine. And some of you may not know, but you have, see how this is here? You can move your stuff around on the screen. You can rotate it however you'd like, and that helps save space too. And I'm going to mirror this one. Now, because I'm going to be using different types of HTV, I'm going to cut them in a different order because these two mats 2 and 3 are going to be foil, and mats 1 and 4 are going to be pattern. So I'm going to start with mat 4. So if I select mat 4, you can see how it turned white while the rest are gray. So I'm going to start with that so I can do it in the right order and have the pattern. So I'm going to press continue. I already have my machine on. I'm going to go up to select device. I'm going to select the maker that I currently have to use. And once it's all set, I'm going to go to patterned iron on. I'm going to browse all materials, and to make it easier for us, we can go to all categories and we can go right down to iron on, and it will make it easier for us. So I choose patterned iron on, done, and then it's all set for me to go. So I'm going to move my computer aside for us. And I'm going to get my mat ready. Now I'm doing the buffalo plaid first. So I'm going to show you a little trick that a lot of you may not know. You can take your mat upside down and load it that way too. I like to do that to even out the sticky of my mat. That way it's not all being done the same. So again, Cricut patterned iron on comes with a carrier sheet attached, so shiny side down. We mirrored our image. I'm going to nudge this in a little bit and load my mat. And once it's ready, we're going to cut it. Now, while that cuts, I'm going to get everything ready for my other colors of HTV. I have my weeding tool and scissors aside to cut it down as we go. And I'm gonna get it ready. Now, for the EasyPress 2, which is what I have, it was only going to take about a second. It's only going to take about a minute, not even, for it to heat up. So I like to get them going right around the time I'm almost done weeding. That really makes it all efficient and going together, and it's not on too long, it doesn't get too hot. And I'm also going to pull up the EasyPress Interactive Quick Guide, which is what I always use when I use the EasyPress. It makes it so much easier to find the right time, the temperature, if it's a cold peel, if it's a hot peel, and all of that stuff. So I'm going to pull that up for you guys after, and I'll show you, and I'll also include a link for it once this video is no longer live, so that you guys can see, you guys have the direct link to it and you can see how it works. It's really convenient to have. So this is going to finish cutting up. We'll pull it out, and I'll cut it down while I switch to the other one. And then when we're no longer doing the patterned iron on, I will show you guys how we don't have to cancel the cut. We can just really quickly change our settings and keep going, which is really nice if you're doing multiple different types of materials when you're cutting from the same project. I hate when you have to, if you want to cut glitter and regular iron-on and you have everything in the same project, you don't actually have to cancel your project. You can go back and just change your settings really quickly. So that's convenient. So I've got my pattern piece cut here. I'm just going to quickly cut it down. And I'm going to weed it. A lot of people are new, so if you haven't weeded before, it's really easy. I'm gonna make sure you guys can see me. I have my Cricut weeding tool. What I like to do is just kind of peel back a little bit of a corner here. I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can see. And then I just like to pull it back, and it makes it really easy to weed it. And then I go back and do the centerpieces after. It's really not that big of a deal if you do the centerpieces first. It's really all preference, but usually I go and do those afterwards, just depending on how many I have to do. If I have to do a lot, sometimes I'll do them first. So, okay, I just weeded that. See how quick and easy that was. Now you can see our design looks correct. All right, I'm going to eject this And then I'm going to pull my computer back up so I can show you guys how we can quickly change around those settings. So remember, I'm using foil HTV, so I'm just going to go right back up here where I would set my materials, click this little, let me see, move it over a little. We're going to click this little down arrow here. We're going to go back to browse all materials, again to all categories, iron on, and I'll just choose foil iron on, done. And we're ready to go. So it's really that easy. And I've got the pink one first. So I'm gonna set that up. And that already changed all of our settings around. It's so much easier to do. I'm gonna throw this down on my mat here quickly. And again, shiny side down. Now I know that the foil has this, shiny looking side on the back, but you want the clear side, so it's harder to tell, but the clear side is attached to your color side. You want to make sure that is down. Okay, now I'm going to cut down my other patterned HTV here, weed it out quickly, and we will get those EasyPresses fired up in a minute and get them ready to go. All right. Got this down on my mat. Ready to go. All right. Now, like I said, when I do the EasyPress, I always go ahead and start heating it up about when I'm almost done weeding, because it really heats up that quickly. I'm going to cut down my pieces here so that I know that they go separately. And again, just pull back a little corner here and really, really easy to weed. Pull out my little center pieces here carefully. And make sure I got everything. You can double check your design too if you forget what you're supposed to weed. Sometimes if I haven't spent too much time playing with the design and I forget, I'll pull it back up on my computer after and make sure that I weed the right pieces. Sometimes I get confused too. So since I only have to do that purple quick, I'm going to quickly turn on the EasyPresses for us. I powered them both on, and I'm going to pull up the EasyPress interactive quick guide for me quickly on my iPad here. So I already pulled it up. I'm going to select patterned iron on for my material. For my base material, my Onesies 100% cotton, so I'll select that. And I have the Cricut EasyPress matte. So it's going to tell me here, pre-wash the item before application without fabric softener, which I did. Set the temp to 340. We're going to preheat the item for 5 seconds. Apply heat and firm pressure for 50 seconds. We're going to flip the material and press for 15 seconds and peel off cold. So I'm going to keep that aside. I'm going to set my baby EasyPress here to 340. And I'll show you guys that quickly. How easy that is. Bring it around. It has this nice little base here that I can touch that makes it easy to hold and not burn myself. So I press the little temperature button right over here, and you can press and hold this up button until you're ready. Make it easier. So I'm going to get to 340 and press this temperature button again. I know that I need a 5-second pre-press, so I can go down, but I'm going to do, since I need 50 seconds total, I'm going to again hold, I'm going to press that, I press the time button, press and hold it to get to 50, and press the time button again. Now I'm going to show you how I do a pre-press without having to change all my settings around to make it easier on me. And we have to remember that this is a cold peel. Sometimes a lot of people don't realize how you're supposed to peel your HTV. And because we're doing a few different colors and kind of layering it, it's going to be a little trickier. That's already set at 340. That little beep means it's ready to go. So I'm going to quickly finish weeding this other onesie here, and then we will get started. See, it's that quick and that easy. I have the 8x10 EasyPress mat for the smaller one, for the smaller press here. So that's what I'm going to be using as my base to press on. You have to make sure when using the Cricut EasyPress, you're pressing on a hard flat surface, which I will be pressing on my kitchen table. And then you have to make sure that you have either the EasyPress mat or a folded towel up underneath your item. So in this case, the onesie. If you are not sure, if you need the mat, I highly recommend it. I see a big difference in using a towel and using the mat. When using a towel, it's harder to fold it consistently, and with all the, the bulk of it, I find that the EasyPress mat is just, there's no guessing if you're doing it right. It's really, really easy. So I'm going to move this stuff aside really quickly, and I'm going to grab my mat. Okay. I have the mat here. If you don't have the mat, you can see on the back, this side down. So I'm going to do that. I have this onesie here. Now I'm going to do this a little sideways so I can reach it. And you want to do it, we're going to do the 5-second pre-press. Now, something that I always do before pressing anything is I go over my item with a lint roller. I have a dog, I have kids, there's stuff everywhere. So just to be on the safe side, I always just run a lint roller really, really, really quickly over it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a 5-second pre-press. So I'm going to press the C button here, and it's going to start counting down. Now, since I only need 5 seconds and I have it set at 50, I'm just going to go ahead and let it go down to 45 seconds and be done. I'll press that button again and it will reset it for me. Now, because I am doing the pattern and I'm kind of doing layers, I need to press each one for just a second. So what I like to do is kind of line it up on my carrier sheets here so that I know where I want it to fit on my design overall. And then I line it up, and then I'll just pull one off and I'm going to press. Now, when doing layers, you only need to press for a second or two each layer. Now, because I need firm pressure, I'm going to use 2 hands and I'm going to line this up. Now, the most important thing when doing a onesie is these seams up here. I don't know if you can see them. I'll show you on the other onesies. Those seams cannot be in your way. That's going to prevent a completely flat press. So these seams cannot be under your press. If they are, you'll need to raise it up with a washcloth or something. Or if you have the bigger press, I'll show you how we can angle it to make it a little easier. So I'm going to take this press and I'm going to press firmly for a few seconds. Now, don't forget that this is a cold peel, so we have to let this cool down some in order for us to peel it without peeling the design up too. So I am going to let that cool down for a second before we peel it back up. Now, while we wait for that, I'm going to go back to my other design here, and I'm going to just line up these hearts how I want them and get it ready for that onesie. This is going to make it much easier for me when I'm ready to do that one. So set that aside, and we'll see if this is cooled down. This has cooled down enough for us to peel it. We're gonna peel it back, and then we're gonna line up this one with it. And then again, we are going to press for just a few seconds. Now, if you are pressing multiple layers, you're going to want something to go over your design to protect the vinyl or it will melt. So I have a Teflon sheet on hand, so I'm going to put it over now so I don't forget it later. So again, firm pressure just for a second or two. And I don't even bother setting the timer for that. I usually just count in my head or out loud, whatever you want to do. So this is just, again, going to cool for a minute or two. And once it's cooled down, we are going to cover it again, and we're going to do the full 50-second press. And then we'll flip it inside out and do it from the back for 15 seconds. It's really important to make sure you follow these instructions exactly, because otherwise you might have some issues. So I'm going to carefully pull this back, and then I'm going to lay my Teflon sheet back down, and we're going to press for the full 50 seconds. Okay, and check underneath your sheet if you need to make sure you don't have the seams in the way. Now, Cricut, when they say gentle pressure, they mean about 5 pounds of body weight. When they say firm pressure, that means 2 hands and about 20 pounds of body weight. So in this case, we do need firm pressure. So I've got 2 hands and I'm putting my body weight into it. Now, when we go to the foil iron on, I believe that it's just going to say gentle pressure. So we'll only need about 1 hand and about 5 pounds of pressure. So we'll go back to that after, and I'll show you guys so you can see in the quick reference guide. I'll go back and I'll plug in the different settings for the different ones so that we can make sure that we have the correct settings for it. And that's what I love about the interactive guide. It's so quick, it's so easy. You just plug in your stuff and it tells you everything you need to know right away. All right, now we've done that for 50 seconds. We are going to go ahead and flip the onesie inside out and press the back for 15 seconds. Okay, make sure that I have it here. Make sure that your seams are not in the way underneath. It's important too. I'm going to quickly change the time here, press the time button, go down to 15 seconds, set the time, and I'm going to go ahead, line it up, and press the button. And it's just going to count down for us. And you can see I've got my hand over here. This really, it gets hot on the base, but the top of it is really easy, which makes it easy to use when you've got to use 2 hands, or you're trying to work in a weird area. I love it for pillows and all of that. All right, so we have pressed that. I'm going to turn it inside out. Done, that easy. So now I'm going to turn off the smaller one for us. I'm going to go back to the quick reference guide here, and I'm going to reset it, this reset button. I'm going to select foil for iron on. My base material is 100% cotton, and I have the EasyPress mat, so it's going to be $2.95. We're going to preheat for 5 seconds, gentle pressure for 30, flip in 15, and peel off cold. So I'm going to set the bigger EasyPress for $2.95, and then we will pull our onesie around and get the bigger mat. I have this bigger mat here. Usually this is for if you have a bigger shirt, but it works great too if you have the bigger EasyPress. So I'm going to pull my onesie around, get it here. Again, we have to do a 5-second pre-press, but I always do how I showed you before, where I just count down from the original. So again, we're going to set up our design here, make sure I like the placement of it, and everything looks good. And then I will, I'll do a 5-second pre-press. All right. Now with the bigger EasyPress here, it can be harder. It's a little heavier. You're going to do it at an angle so that you don't have any of the seams in the way. So 5-second pre-press. Okay, put that over to the side here. Okay, we have already double checked that the design is going to fit the way we want it. So I can just lay it down. And I gotta grab my lint roller here. Okay, so I usually do about 2 fingers down from the collar. In case you were wondering, I don't think I mentioned that the first time. So I'm going to put my Teflon down to be sure. And again, because we're doing this multiple colors or in layers, I am going to angle this, and we're only going to press for a second. Now we only need gentle pressure, so one hand. This thing is about 8 pounds, I think. And again, this has to cool down, so we're gonna let that cool down before we do it. So the bigger EasyPress weighs about 8 pounds or so it's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit heavier. Denise asked where we can find the interactive guide. It's on the Cricut website, but I'll send it to you in your comment when I'm done with the live video, and I'll also include it in the description of the video to make it easier for all of you to find. It's really, really great. You're gonna love it. Okay, now that that's cooled down, we are going to carefully pull it. We want to make sure that we are careful. Still a little warm, I think, but we're going to go over it again, so you might want to press it for just another second longer than what I did. All right, so that's good, and we're going to put down the pink layer here. Line it up how you wanted it. Put the Teflon over it to protect it. And we're going to press again at an angle with the bigger press. Don't get those seams in the way. Gentle pressure for just a second or two. And then we're gonna wait for that pink to cool down, and then we'll peel it, and then we'll do our full 30-second press for it. That's really, that's all there is to it. It's really, really easy to use these, and I love them. They're portable. I have a couple of friends who live near me that have Cricuts, so if I want to go over to their house, I can pack it up easily in my car and bring it over so that they can use it too. We have a couple friends who are pregnant, so I can bring my easier one, my friend can bring her bigger one, and it will be really, really nice to be able to do those things. And it's really easy to craft with your friends and bring it all around. All right, we're gonna pull this, and then we will put this back over, and we're gonna do our full 30-second press. Denise, you are welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna start this. Again, gentle pressure, one hand. It's really about five pounds of pressure is what Cricut recommends. So it's really, it's not much pressure. It's really more about consistent heat in an even area. So that's what you're looking for. And even if you have the bigger press and you want to do smaller items, it's really easy to do. And I wanted to show you guys the versatility of these. And if you don't have a Cricut EasyPress yet, there is also a giveaway in the group for that. And I will share the link to Dewana's post at your chance to win one of the EasyPresses. And it's an awesome giveaway because she is giving away at the size of your choice. So if you already even have one and you want the smaller one or the bigger one or whatever you want, you have a chance to choose. So that is a really, really cool prize. I'm excited about that. So I'll link both of the giveaways for you guys and the EasyPress interactive quick guide as I'm almost done. I'm gonna pull this press back up. Again, we're going to change the time, press the time, hold it down till you get to 15 seconds, press the time again. We're gonna lay it down. We're gonna start the timer and one hand gentle pressure from the back, and then we'll be done. And in case you guys didn't see it on the guide, I wanna let you know that you have to wait about 24 hours at least before you wash or use your item. That's very important to keep in mind. You don't want to have any peeling or anything like this. I use my EasyPress all the time for shirts for my kids, and they get washed and worn multiple times a week, so, and I've had no peeling, no issues. But I find following the EasyPress quick reference interactive guide really makes all the difference. Okay, and that's it. That's how you use the EasyPress. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I will go answer any questions I may have missed. and update my posts for you guys. Thank you for joining.